Hi there YouTube. Today I am going to be showing you a little earring project, and this is, I don't know if you can tell that there is a film on top of my craft sheet today. This is from the Duralar medium weight 9x12 sheets. This is wet media film. This is the first time that I've used this product, and they call it the acetate alternative, so I thought this would be a great way to get some use out of my alcohol inks. And my plan is to make 2 large floral earrings, and I like it when earrings look like they go together, but they're not a perfect match. So what I'm going to start off by doing is just introducing the colors that I'm going to be using, and that is Peach Bellini, Cool Perry, and Stonewashed. And Stonewashed is one of my favorite Adirondack alcohol inks to work with, by the way. It's a really pretty sort of pale indigo bluish color, and I think it'll go really nicely with the Cool Perry, which is in a real similar color family. So I'm just going to give that a moment to kind of sink into the sheet and see where the patterns start to emerge. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Cool Perry. You can see how similar those two colors are. Cool Perry just has more purple in it, so I think it gives a nice complementary look to the Stonewashed. And it almost looks like a cell pattern formation on the sheet, which I think is really cool, the way it's just sort of naturally doing that on its own. And then to add the offsetting color, I'm going to go in with the Peach Bellini. Haven't used a whole lot of this color yet, but I thought a nice mandarin orange would look pretty against the blues and purples. Okay, so I'm going to give that a moment to dry. Okay, so now that I've given some time for the alcohol ink to settle, I am going to go in with a permanent marker, and I love any excuse to use metallic, so I'm going to go with, let's see, I've got a silver permanent marker and this lavender. And these were from the Dollar Tree, so they're very reasonable. And I think actually I'm going to add this True Black color. It's a Spectrum Noir alcohol ink marker, and it has the fine point and the broad point, and I'm going to use the broad point to sketch my flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to do a real wide arc here. And I want to remember that at the end of this, I'm going to be cutting out these shapes, and so with that in mind, I'm going to keep them pretty close together. That's not just for cutting's sake, but also because I want to save as much of this acetate, the colored acetate, as I can. And like I said, the flowers don't have to be an exact match. Those are matched enough that they definitely look like a pair, but they'll look different enough that I think it'll give it a really neat effect. So now I'm just going in with this metallic marker. It's in a really pretty bright lavender, and I'm just going to go in and add some dimension. And these are, obviously they look a lot like a Sharpie. They aren't though, they're an off-brand, and I really like working with these metallic markers. I think I got a set in blue and lavender at Dollar Tree, and then I also got just gold and silver, and very affordable. And look at how that silver really just pops off the page. Okay, so now you can see that the alcohol ink is still showing through, but because of the ink on top of it, you're really getting two different medias that work really nicely together. And I'm just going to kind of shift the film around a little bit so you can see the nice sheer color that the alcohol inks give against the metallic ink. So there's still a little bit of translucency to the permanent markers, especially the black. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut out my shapes. Okay, so now for the cutting part, I'm going to cut as close to the flower as I can. I want to leave lots of this leftover film as intact as possible so that I can create little tiles out of it or what have you. And as you can see, the acetate is very easy to cut. And I'm thinking that these will be nice and durable as earrings, and yet they'll also be pliant enough that they're not, I don't know, they'll bend and twist a lot like you want earrings to be able to do once they're on you. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut around the flower, and I'll skip over that part. Okay, so now you can see that I have gone ahead and cut out the two flower shapes. And I'm going to start adding a little bit more color. So I'm going to use some Lumiere metallic acrylic. I'm just going to get out a variety of colors. These are by Jacquard, and this one is the 571 Pearl Turquoise. Really pretty, shimmery, pearly color. And I'm just going to go in and sort of Zentangle style add some little dots. They don't have to be perfect. They can even kind of move around a little bit. Okay. The acetate really wants to stick to me because it's got the stickiness of the alcohol ink on it. And what I think I'll do on this other flower is use a different color of acrylic to give it its little beads. On this one I'm going to use Halo Violet Gold. That's number 557. Just trying to work in a real similar. It's a little bit jammed up there. See if I can get it out there. Oh! Yikes! Okay. Okay, that definitely came right on out there. I'm just going to try to brush as much as I can off onto the craft sheet because I can always use that paint later. And we'll just move the camera on up over here. Okay, just going to go a little bit slower here so I don't get a big blob like I did. Okay. And now, because I think this will go well with the Peach Bellini alcohol ink, I'm going to use 555 Halo Pink Gold. And even though this paint has a pinkish undertone, when I have used it, it really comes out more of like a pale orange metallic color. That's what it looks like to me. And I think if you were to sweep this paint across the surface, like on paper, you'd pick up more of the pink and gold. So it's a two-tone paint, but if you're doing these little dots, like you can see, it just looks like a warm gold. And with this other flower, I'm going to go in with this light body metallic, and this is the 551 pewter. So I'm just going to carefully set aside this flower, bring this one back into frame. Okay, and again, I just want to go in and just sort of randomly dot the surface wherever it looks like it needs a polka dot. Some of them are big, some of them are small, some of them are slightly misshapen. I like how they're mostly coming out very round. So it still gives it that fun mixed media effect, but the round shape is really appealing when you look at it. It's just like, it feels nice on the eye to look at this spherical shape, and it's three-dimensional because the paint, although it will settle in a little bit more as it dries, as you can see, there is some dimension to that paint. So it looks like some of the embellishments that you would buy in a craft store. And now I'm just going to let these dry and get my materials ready to complete these as earrings.